Hey guys, if you could just make sure to mute yourselves if you don't mind, unless you have something to say, that would be great. All right, I woke up a little bit late, so unfortunately, that's why I'm only starting it now instead of 9:30. But let's see. Nice thing is that Papa just broke above range that it's been trading within. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I'll answer it if I could. You want me to look at any tickers? Feel free to tell me. IWM, of course. I'll check out IWM. IWM is amazing. Let me bring up its option chain as well. For those who have small accounts, I highly recommend looking at IWM as one of the main stocks that you trade. The contracts are cheap, and it's just very easy to trade if you take your time to study it. It's an ETF, basically. I used to love trading it when I used to have a small account. Again, if you guys could mute yourself, so just in case you're not speaking, that would be great. So today, most of the stocks are opening up green, as you can see. I unfortunately missed the opening bullish movement. Right now, we're looking at IWM. If I were to enter, it would possibly be calls. Right now, looking at the 176 IWM contracts for July 8th, which is the expiration for tomorrow. Just waiting to see how it moves over here. The only thing that's risky is just the fact that we had this huge bullish candle for the first 15 minutes, and anything after that, there's a huge chance it's just gonna not be as strong, right? So we're waiting here. We're seeing if we should really get into calls or if we should take puts, right? As much as I want the market to be in a bullish direction, with the choppiness we've had the past 2 weeks, I'm not, totally sure that it will be just straight up green action. So we'll see here if we should get into calls or puts. Yeah. Well, I can't hear. Can all of you guys hear me fine?
Yes, I do.
Sweet. Okay. All right. A few people asked if I could have this recorded, so I'm also going to be having this recorded. They said they wanted it so they can hear my thought process, even though I sound pretty dumb while I'm trading. But yeah, I'll record it. I'll post on YouTube today. But yeah. All right. So okay, so IWM is looking good for calls right now. I'm just seeing if we could get a good entry. Let's see. And then, as I promised you guys, one day I'm gonna have a live about flow, option flow, right? Since many of you guys asked how to use that. Okay. So right now I'm looking at the IWM 176 calls for the July 8th expiration. Um, I'm just not necessarily liking just how slow this second candle is, right? That shows we have a little bit of hesitation right there. Honestly, I'm thinking if I should even maybe risky. You know what, let's just look at other stocks because that's a little bit is right next to a important level as well. So it could just literally reject and trade downwards. I mean trade back down. So all right. Roblox, I'm still in that call swing, right? Let's see. AMC, we if I don't know if you guys remember from last live trading, we entered into the puts. It freaking had this whole like day of sideways trading, but yesterday finally broke down since I swung it and we were profitable, so that's good. Um, but Nvidia is worth looking at right here because there's this uh gap up that we still a gap down that we still need to fill. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, let's see. Sorry, I just had to mute a few people. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys remember the previous lives. I was told like 9:30 to 9:45, that's when the most action happens, and then around 10 is when the action starts up again, right? So we're just patiently waiting, seeing what opportunities there are. Right now, Bank of America is a good opportunity. Nvidia is a good opportunity. IWM, if there's bearish action, then I'm absolutely going to take puts. Because the rewards potential, the reward to risk ratio is pretty good on that. If it becomes bearish, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it. We're already farming at pin bars, so let's see. If I were to get into puts, right, I'll be looking at the 174 puts for IWM. So let's see. All right, so currently I'm looking at the 174 puts for IWM. I'm liking the hesitation we had on the resistance right over here. You could also see this pin bar, right? So let's see. It could either be a bear trap, so we just have to be a little bit careful here. So let's just give it like a minute or so to trade out a little bit. Again, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to ask. Man, I'm so tired. I use a sleeping mask today, and like I didn't use it the previous times, and like I didn't have that great sleep, so it was easy to wake up. But today I used a sleeping mask, and oh my goodness, I slept so well. I did not want to wake up. But so going back to Nvidia, right? Someone asked what it means, gap to fill. So the reason why I don't have extended hours on, right? The reason why I don't have it on is because when you have it off, you could see the gaps that are caused by aftermarket and pre-market movements, right? So right here, what this is basically saying is on the 28th, right? That's where this last candle is. It ended the stock stopped trading at 159.72, but then the next day, the next trading day, the stock opened up at whatever price, right? 158. And what this causes is this gap, right? Visual gap, as you can see on the chart, between the two trading days. And what stocks tend to do is they like fill in gaps. Okay. I did not know people can do that. But anyway, what I was trying to say is was trying to say is stocks usually tend to fill the gap eventually, right? Like SPY. Before all this choppiness, what SPY usually love to do is it fills gaps within like a day or two, right? So here, for example, right, we had a gap down. Okay, 1 second. Let's see. Let me kick that person who's doing that. Uh, if you do that again, I'll have to kick you out. But anyway, as I was saying, so we had a gap down right over here for SPY, right? And then you could see that the next day SPY traded upwards to fill the gap, and you could see the same thing over here on when was this? Uh, it happened on the 5th of July. So that's why noticing where the gaps are is very important because it could tell you where possible fills are going to be in the future. So keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, you guys can see that there's obviously the annotation feature enabled. Don't abuse it. But what I enable that for is just in case like you want to show me a specific candle and I can't see which candle you're talking about, you could easily just circle it, right? So let me know. But yeah, of course. Honestly, I'm not liking this movement right now, so we're just waiting. Uh, Forget calls. I'm not gonna get calls on IWM. The reason is I'll show you right here. Pivot points are basically points or levels, which is uh, levels of high activity and high chances of reversal, right? And you could see right here, R1 and R2 acts as resistance, right? So this is resistance 1, which we clearly broke through, and then resistance 2, which is coming up at 175.63 for IWM. Now the thing is, right, you could see here, my general rule is we broke through R1 pretty well, right? We pretty quickly. You could see there's a 15-minute candle, so we broke through it pretty strong. There's barely has any hesitation, right? And what that means is since there was so much bullish action, right? And we broke through R1, there's not that much of a chance that we could break through R2 that strong. So now, is there is there much chance that we're going to break through that? Not in my opinion. So that's why I'm not entering in calls because even if we had bullish action, there's a high chance that we just hit here and then we just break down, right? Now, if we break above R2, I have no problem getting into calls because we could see it running up all the way to like 176, which is about for IWM contracts, it's about like 10, which is not bad. So let's see. Let me see. I forgot how to add these, so let's see. If you go to, I think, let's see, pivot points. Is it the standard ones? Yeah, okay, so you had to go to indicators, you go to technicals, right? And then you type in pivot points, and then it's the one that's called pivot point standard. That's the one. That's the one I use. Um, would you guys want me to also have a live session one day explaining the how to use the pivot point and strategies you can use for it? Just feel free to let me know in the chat. Yeah, okay, yeah, I figured. Okay. I hope today's not gonna be like yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw, I only did like 2 trades yesterday. They're both pretty nice. We had Baba, right? I love trading Baba. Um, but yeah. I didn't even attend the Fed meeting. Was there even a Fed meeting? I heard like someone saying there was no Fed meeting. I got canceled, but I'm not even exactly sure. Baba's actually looking good for calls. Why is my volume bar always messed up? It annoys me. I'm so tempted to switch back to using Thinkorswim for charts. It's so much cleaner. Oh yeah, so we're gonna have the live session today about resistance and supports around like I'm choosing between either 4:30 or 5:30, so I'll let you guys know which one. Sorry, I'm just texting someone. I'm in no rush to enter any trades right now. You could see that most of the market is just trading sideways for these few minutes. So, all right. Let's see. So, okay. Can you look at Bank of America? Absolutely, I love Bank of America. What is this stupid little red circle? Is this my annotation or something? Clear. Clear, clear, clear. Okay, I don't even know what that's for. If someone drew that, they could please delete it. Um, oh no, I had Bank of America on my freaking watch list for a reason because it seemed bearish. Okay, all right. Anyway, regardless, this is a good sign. I'm going to be looking at Bank of America puts. I'm just pulling up the option chain. You could see that this is basically without me drawing. You could tell this is a supply zone, right? So we rejected supply zone. We fill the gap that needs to be filled. So let me delete that. All right, let me check. Let me go to Bank of America. Thing I love about Bank of America is options are cheap. Options are very cheap. Okay, if I were to be looking at any, all right, you know what? I'm looking right now at the 3150 puts. I'm going to be putting in a buy order at 0.25. This is for the July 8th expiration. So it's Bank of America, $31.50 put, trying to get filled at 25 or 24. Obviously, since these are cheap contracts, I'm going to type right here what trims I'm setting. So the first one, okay, so I got filled at 25. The first one we're gonna have at 27. It's gonna be like 9 or 10%. And then the second one is gonna be at 29. That's gonna be a near 20% profit. The next one we're gonna have at 34. So these are the trims that I'm setting up, right? And the stop loss, it's not a huge deal because I mean, of course it's a huge deal. My stop loss, I'll probably be looking at if the stock goes above 31.83. But my puts just got filled for 27. So we entered at 25. More than half my position got sold at 27. Um, the most highest probability of what's going to happen right now is Bank of America is going to test the top of this range right here, which is $31.54. Um, when we see that, right, what we would want to happen is for us to break below it, obviously, and to break below the low of day. If we break below the low of day, we could see these contracts going up to like 40% or 50% profit. But keep in mind, always manage risk. You don't want to just keep on waiting and waiting for profits and then end up losing out on the profits you had initially. Wow, I can't speak. Good way, since we're just waiting for Bank of America to just trade, a good way to a good way is to set trailing stop losses. And maybe I should do a live on those once too. Trailing stop losses are useful. If you find yourself constantly waiting for this was 3150 puts for Bank of America. I got filled in at 25. So right now it's at 27. I wouldn't recommend getting in because that's almost close to 10% profit already. So be technically chasing. But what I was saying was trailing stop losses are pretty useful if you know how to use them correctly. So you should use it if you find yourself trying to hold. All right, so we'll wait for Bank of America to trade out. There's no reason to just stick on the chart for no reason, right? Just gives us anxiety. We set 2 alerts. So one thing I haven't told people, um, when there's on any stock, right? Unless it's a low cap stock, because low cap stocks, they don't matter. It just means that a lot of people are not trading them. But if there's a gap between the previous candle close and the next candle open, that means that the momentum is pretty strong, right? And you could see that happening here. You could see that in this bearish candle we had over here, this inside bar or whatever the correct name is. I really don't care about names. You could see from the close of this candle coming to the open of this next candle, there's a gap here, and that means that the bearish momentum is pretty strong. So that's a good sign for us, right? So just wanted to tell you guys that. But let's see. Someone told me to look at McDonald's. I want McDonald's. My girl's in Morocco right now. She's visiting her family, and she says the McDonald's in Morocco is like so much better. And that made me so sad because now I want McDonald's. Let's see. All right, so I'm pretty bearish on McDonald's. It's pretty easy to tell, right? Yeah, look at this. Look at this candle. You could classify as a pin bar or whatever you want to classify it as. Um, let's see. Let me look at the McDonald's option chain. Again, if you guys can have yourself muted, if you're not gonna speak, that'd be great. If you want to speak and ask a question, feel free to ask me a question. All right, so McDonald's, right? You can see that we had 3 consistent bearish candles. The only problem in entering is that there's a support right here. So the potential for profit is not that great. So if I were to personally enter, I'd want to, like, knowing my what's it called? I would rather enter here. I don't know why I can't freaking come up with the word that I'm trying to think. But yeah, anyway, we're waiting for McDonald's. I mean, not McDonald's, Bank of America. Ooh, IWM. Okay, IWM is looking like it's gonna probably have a reversal into the downside. So, all right. So for IWM, the contract I'm looking for puts is the 174 put. I did not enter yet. Yeah, risk tolerance. That's what I meant to say. My risk tolerance is like I don't want to enter at that range because the risk to reward ratio is not that great. Thanks for helping me out on that. Sometimes my mind just blanks. But IWM, okay, so I'm looking at the IWM 174 put for July 8th. I'm probably gonna enter in less than a minute. Let's see. I like the hesitation we had on the top of the resistance right here. And then yeah. So let's just see. The last thing we want to do is be caught in a bear trap, right? Institutions do that so they can maximize profits, where they drop the stock and then they immediately start pumping the stock once they get good entries at a lower point, and then the stock would just skyrocket, right? Skyrocket or just have bearish action. Jeez. All right. So okay, the Bank of America puts they currently so far reached, let's see, 28 from an entry of 25. They're back at break even right now. I'm not gonna exit just yet personally. So yeah. No, so someone asked if I'm actually asking about bull trap. No, I'm saying bear trap because you could see the movement here has been bullish, right? So what I'm saying is after a bullish movement, institutions would make a fake bearish movement to fake retail traders into thinking that the stock is going to break down. And then once the bearish movement ends, the stock, the institutions will start pumping up the stock. So now think about it, right? They profited off this rally. They have high confidence that the stock is going to rally even more, right? Like other institutions will enter a trade. So they start shorting the stock in minimal small positions, and retail traders will start panicking and start selling, right? Because they're thinking, oh, okay, it's going to reverse into the downside. And then once it reaches a good point that they like, they'll start buying up the stock. And then they get it now a cheaper point of entry than say compared to like right over here, right? So then they have more profits if the stock were to break above and go on. So yeah, that's what I mean. So that's why we're waiting to see how it reacts over here. If it's gonna have a similar weak reaction, I'm gonna get into the IWM puts, the 174 puts for July 8th. But I'm not gonna be rushing anything. No need to. Today seems pretty choppy as well. Right. Again, I'm looking at the IWM 174 puts. By the way, while we're waiting for IWM, did anyone get into the Bank of America puts or no? And if you did you guys trim out a little bit at 10%? Okay, so I'm going to be entering the IWM, the 174 puts for July 28th. I'm setting in my buy-in order at 131. And I got filled for 131. All right. Our stop loss is going to be somewhat tight on this. It's going to be at my stop loss, not our stop loss, is going to be around like 175.29. The risk on this is a little bit high, but at least the stop loss is set tight just in case continues upwards. Yeah. Didn't trim out. Okay, makes sense. But can't momentum indicators. So no momentum. This is why you could see on my chart here, I don't have momentum indicators for a reason. It's because it's lagged, right? Indicators are not going to always be accurate, especially the fact that it shows previous data. It doesn't show current data. The only things that will ever show current data is volume, right? Like this volume, and then volume profiles, because those are live indicators, and then price, right? These are the only live indicators that you can use to trade with. There's no other thing like a live indicator. Pivot points are not like lagging or live. It's just automated levels that comes up, right? So it's not really that's just an indicator that helps plot out pivot points. You can manually plot out pivot points, but that's why I don't like RSI, because it's lag data. Yeah, sorry. There's for some reason a loud cop behind me. So yeah, I just entered into IWM puts. Currently they're in the red. But that's the other good opportunity I see. Um, the let's see, Bank of America. Okay, I'm liking the action on Bank of America. Not too worried about that. The pivot point thing, just go into indicators, go to technicals, type in pivot points, and then you'll see the one that says pivot point standard. That's the one that I use. If we see over here, right? So yeah, that's the pivot points. Oh, I have a live one day about it. Let's see. You got into IWM at 125. Yeah, we're seeing right now how it's gonna act out. Oh my gosh. Why is there so many cops? Uh, okay, so Ryan asked, I know how to use stop loss. Okay, first, before I answer that question, so I entered at IWM at 131. My first trim is gonna be at 142. My second trim is going to be, let me write it down. So oh my gosh, I hope those cops are not too loud for you guys. Thing is, like, this area is so safe, so I don't get why there's so many cops. But so my first trim for IWM is gonna be at 141. Then it's gonna be next one is at 140. Oh my god. Okay, hopefully they don't come around again. So those are my trims, right? Right now IWM entered at 131. They're at 135. I'll get back to that question that was asked earlier. Just want to make sure that you guys know the trims I have personally set. Just keep in mind it's always safe and always better to immediately after you enter a trade, you just set the limit sell orders, because when you do this, one, you prevent yourself from holding on, right? Holding on to contracts when you shouldn't be holding on, and you take profits when you need to, right? And then also it's a higher chance of your contract actually being filled to sell. So yeah. All right. So Bank of America broke through, it touched the level that we wanted it to touch. So this is an important level. We need to see how it reacts with this. There's this there's this there's thingy called on TradingView called parallel channel, and that's what I used here because I was like, oh, it's cool. I could just have an automatic parallel channel to like highlight a range, but it doesn't like show the coordinates on the right side, which I hate. I wish it show the coordinates so it's easy for you guys to see. But if you guys have the Bank of America chart, basically top of the range, right? As you can see over here is 31.54. So that's the level we're looking at right now. But yeah, okay. All right. So Ryan asked, I know how to use stop loss with regular trades, but I'm confused on how to use them with option contracts. So there's two ways you can do it. Yeah, I mean, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it according to option price or stock price. Um, Stock price is basically where you find an area where if the stock were to break above or break below, that's when you would stop out. On Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, basically, you can actually set the option to sell if it reaches a stock price. So you can do it that way, right? The only con to that is the fact that your loss might be higher than versus if you do the other method, which is just setting your stop losses according to option price, which you can do by percentage, right? And just as I'm saying that, Bank of America broke below the level, and my trim at 150 at 129 just got filled, right? So we're in decent profit right now. So near 20% profit from an entry of 25. But back to the question, right? What was I saying? Yeah, so option price and stock price. The good thing about option price is the fact that you're going to be stopped out at a lower loss versus a stock price, a stock stop loss. You could be stopped out for a higher loss. Like now, let me quickly say tell you what I'm talking about. I have this in a video. You guys could check it out. It's called. Let me see. One second. I stopped sharing my screen for just a moment. I'll bring it back up. But so all right. So you could check this video out on the Pinnacle Traders YouTube channel. So it's the channel I own. It's called "You Need to Know This to Make Money in the Market." It's about risk management and how to grow an account properly, in my opinion. But let's say we entered IWM puts right over here at 31. Is this no Bank of America puts right here at 31.60? We could set a stop loss at like 31.70, right? But obviously, if the stock goes back up to here, we might have a 30 or 40% option loss, right? Versus if you set an option stop loss of like 20%, then you're capped at 20%. But then you have a higher chance of being stopped out before being stopped out and then the stock just running afterwards. So, all right. So IWM broke down finally, right? I got my last fill set in at 149. So both of these orders got filled. 141 and 149. So sweet. All of our trades are profitable right now. Bank of America. Let's see. Bank of America right now is at 30. Did my order get filled? All right, no. So my next order is at 34. Right now it's at 30. Item. So, all right. So Bank of America, we entered at 25. Right now it's at 30. IWM, I personally entered at 131. Right now it's at 144. Last fill we got was at 149. My next fill is at 159. You guys shall all be profitable if you followed. But yeah. All right. Hopefully that answered your question, Ryan. If you could tell me, if you could let me know if I answer your question. And Bryce, could you please publish the trades on Discord? Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I usually do, but I mean, yeah, I guess I could continue to do that. It's just a little bit hard to do that while I'm live trading, but yeah, sure, no problem. I'll do that. I don't hear the cops. Oh, sweet. Okay. All right. Do you ever set SL or just mental SL if it breaks, then you just exit? So the way I enter, because I'm experienced and I've traded for a long time, I've been trading for 9 years now. I trade according to mental stop losses, but not exactly. I use stock stop loss. And so if a stock breaks up, like if I'm in puts and a stock breaks above the price I set as a stop loss, then I would exit, right? So yeah. But I do not encourage having mental stop losses unless you have experience in the market.
I just had a question on the IWM trade.
Yeah,
What was the confirmation? Because I've been watching a lot of your videos and you had talking about volume and stuff, but what was the volume confirmation?
sure, no problem. Hold on. Who asked me that? Who asked me that? If you could just say your name.
Me, Piyush.
Oh, Piyush. Okay. So, right. So obviously, why I said obviously in a weird way. Obviously, I haven't told every single part of my strategy, right, when it comes to trading, because if I did, it would take a long time. But when it comes to price, as he was saying, price and volume really matters. But an important part in trading in the first 2 hours of the market is you need to be able to distinguish the difference between just opening volume and just the regular day volume, right? You'll see where I'm going with this. But basically what I'm saying is whenever the market opens and whenever the market's about to close, there's huge spikes of volume, as you could see right here, right? And right, like right over here, you could see there's high volume. Right over here, you can see there's high volume. Now, you can't necessarily factor in that volume while you're trading because this is just uh volume that's just because people are buying or selling stock that they had like aftermarket or pre-market that they set and it's just getting filled, right? So the next important thing is if you're trying to enter into a trade like I did over here for IWM, we entered around like right over here, right? You could see that what if you go back to let me exit this. If you go to my YouTube channel and if you go to the volume analysis, one of the things that I talk about here in the video is the fact of if there's high volume and there's low effort. So right here, right, let me clear all of this, clear all drawings. You could see right here, we had a decent volume candle, right? But you could see corresponding to it, we have such a weak and low effort candle. Now, what this means is that on TradingView, on Thinkorswim, I have actually an indicator I coded myself to show the difference between buying and selling volume. So, but on TradingView, from to what I know, I don't think there's an indicator that does that. But right here on
Sorry to
TradingView,
interject, but
yeah,
yeah, I have that on Thinkorswim as well. But on TradingView, I found it. If you look up buy/sell volume bars, you get it.
let me see.
Yeah, that's second one.
Oh, okay, sweet. All right. Thanks for telling me that. I did not know that. that helps out a lot. So
Yeah, that was gonna be
basically,
my next question, but yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so this helps out a lot. But the only problem with this, I believe Pierce said that right. The only problem with this is that it clouds a little bit of judgment, but not too much. If you use it properly, it works out. But you could see that we had a decent volume candle, right? But you could see there's low effort. So what I mean by that is we had a small sized candle for the amount of volume we had. And that means that this candle was bullish, right? Like that candle opened low and open and closed green. But you could see that the effort was so low on that that the market does not truly believe in the direction this candle was going in. So then if you factor that in, right? And then if you also factor in the part that the fact that we hit the top, we hit this resistance, right? You could see that we closed right near the resistance. We had high volume but a small candle, meaning what was the terminology I used? Just this high volume and weak effort. This is why I entered, because it had high volume and low effort, and you could see that the next candle we opened up, we started trading into the bear side, and then we broke below this previous candle open, right? And previous candle low. So that's why I entered. But hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks so much. And also, when you mean by like low effort, do you mean like the body of the candle is quite small in
Yeah,
relative to its volume?
yeah, exactly. So what I mean
Okay,
is the
gotcha.
body itself, like you were saying. So if it has long wicks, that basically means, low effort for the amount of volume it has. It means there's a lot of choppiness, right? And that's exactly what you could see here. You could see that there's a small body, right? So you could look at it multiple ways. You could, if the candle is small, that means it's low effort. Or if it's a small body, that means low effort. Or if there's long wicks, that means low effort. So yeah, uh, but hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, of
Hi,
course.
I have a quick question. I was asking, is there another entry point for Bank of America at this time?
Bank of America. So if you do want to enter, the next entry point you can enter to be safe is below 3147 because that's the low of the day, right? And you could see right here. Okay, let me just delete this because it's useless. You could see right here that below the low of day, there's this huge there's this huge sorry. There's this huge gap that needs to be filled, right? So if we break below this, if we break below this and we actually start breaking into the gap up that needs to be filled, then you could enter in puts for another entry to get for like a 20% or 30% profit. So yeah, that's the next entry. But you can see here on IWM and Bank of America, we're having a little bit of a hesitation for our candles. So hopefully most of you guys exited or trimmed or have trim set. So yeah, but hopefully that answers the question to whoever asked the question right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. I think a few people asked questions. Let's see. I know you already are in a Bank of America position. Do you see? Oh, okay. Yeah, I just answered that question. After you first trim, do you usually set SL to break even? So that's blur. That's if I did option pricing stop losses, but I don't do that, right? So what blur's talking about is, let's say the option reached 10% or 20% profit, you would move the stop loss from, like, let's say a 20% loss to like break even, right? So if you entered at 20 and then the contracts went to 24, you'd move the stop loss that you had at 18 up to 20, right? But I personally don't do that. I just keep on scaling out. And then if I see, let's say if I enter puts, if I start seeing bullish confirmation and just decent bullish confirmation, that's when I exit. But yeah, not to sound snobby, but since I have a bigger account, I have much more room for error. So don't take my high risk factors, not factors, uh, behaviors and employ it into your account unless you actually know what you're doing. Everyone has their own separate, different risk tolerance. If you guys profited, since you guys all came from different servers, post in the profits section of whichever server you came in and tag me. if you're in the live session server, all right, you could just go to the oh shoot, I have a decent amount of tags. You could go to the testimonials tab and tag there if you want to. Not mandatory. But anyway, what's the next entry for Bank of America? As I said, if we break below the low of day, multitasking is too extreme. If I'm not live streaming, it's easier to do. It's easier to talk. It's easier to type out what I'm saying. But if I'm on a live stream, I hope you guys can understand. There's the fact that I'm talking, and then at the same time, I need to type out. I need to look at the chart and the option chain, so it's a little bit difficult to do that. So, yeah. Of course, you're welcome. Ryan said, so would it technically be better to just eye the chart and exit yourself? Not unless you have experience and you know you could keep control of your emotions. Now, the thing is, let's say if you do what I do, which is stop losses, a lot of times, and I used to be guilty of this when I first started, you'd set your stop loss to, let's say, like 31.70, and then Bank of America will reach 31.70, and you're like, okay, wait, there's a little hesitation here. Let me just keep on holding, and then you hold, and then out of nowhere, just Bank of America just starts having a strong bullish movement, and now your option now has a bigger loss than what it would have beforehand. So that's obviously trading with emotion, right? So if you have that under control, then maybe you can use stop losses. But all right, next question. What do I think about Walmart? I'll check that in a second. If I have a small account stop loss, I don't want to repeat myself. I'm not trying to be rude. I have literally everything that you guys are asking in this account right here. Well, most answers, but this video right here, let me link it in the chat so you guys can visit it if you want. This answers a lot of questions. I did a whole slide presentation on it. It was for small accounts, medium accounts, and big accounts. So definitely check that out, just so you could get the answer in full details. It's not impossible. It's just difficult, and I feel like then, knowing myself, I can multitask. But if I'm talking and then typing at the same time, I might type out the wrong alert or something like that. What's my favorite indicators? I do not like indicators because most of them are lagged. If I were to say what indicators I like the most, obviously the volume indicator, because that's live data. Price, that obviously comes as a default since that's live data. Volume profile, which a lot of people don't use, meaning like you guys, which is live data, right? This basically, so the volume bar here shows the volume by time. This shows the volume by price, right? So this helps show major supports and resistances, and where there's a lot of transactions, right? I'll have a live session once on that. And then there's SMAs. I'm not a huge fan of SMAs, but you could use it somehow, right? Like personally, sometimes I might use the 200 or 550 SMA. But do I use it often? Not at all, because it's still a lagged indicator. But yeah, IWM a chance of hitting last trim. Let's check it out. So, I mean, there is a chance, but I'm not liking what the movement we just had right now. Obviously, I'm not too worried because my position is in the green, nevertheless, right? My stop loss is at 175.29. The fact that I'm still in is the fact that the reason why I'm still in is because even though we started showing bullish movement, right, it's still showing a lot of hesitation near this resistance I have plotted out over here, right? So that's why. Someone said to look at Walmart. Ooh, this is beautiful. As the person said, we have a double top, right? That means that we hit around the same price range twice, and we broke down right afterwards. Again, if you guys can make sure your mics are muted if you're not speaking, that'd be great. Right. So we could see here that where was this level? Why did I have this level? I think I had this level, but yeah, it was just support. That's the reason why I had this level. So you can see we have this mini range, and we just broke below this range today, and that's super bearish. But of course, we want to always enter with confirmation. So let's just wait a few seconds. But right now, I'm going to be looking at the Walmart option chain. This is probably going to be the last trade of the day because it's nearing to 11 o'clock, and this is near lunchtime, and the momentum is going to slow down. So the strike I would be looking at is the 124 puts for Walmart. Whoever pointed out for me to look at Walmart, props to you. So again, like on these live streams, you guys can always just tell me a ticker to look at, and I'll just give my opinion on when's the best chance to enter. Again, none of what I say is financial advice, right? Not a financial advisor, so but yeah, we're just gonna wait a second for Walmart. I'm gonna set all over here so we don't need to be staring at the chart. No, you don't need to be sorry at all. It's just I would rather you get a full answer by looking at the video that I already explained all of this on. But someone just said to look at QQQ. I'm not a huge fan of QQQ compared to IWM and SPY. He said triple thought a top on QQQ. Where and at what time frame? I don't see a triple top, at least on a 15-minute time frame.
I think he said 1 minute. He meant
One-
1 minute.
1 minute. I personally don't like trading the 1 minute chart. I feel like there's a lot of noise. I can kind of see what you're saying. For who said that? Poe. QQQ. Let's see. If we were to enter, let me go to. I don't like the 1 minute chart, so let me go back to the 3 minute chart. If you were to enter, pretty self-explanatory. Just enter below the low, right? You would enter right over here. If you break below, I would personally enter, not you would enter. I'd personally enter if we break below 291.40, right? And if you break below, actually no, not 29, 209.40. We would want to enter if you break below 291.24, right? Because that's a safer entry. And then it would be, there's another entry possibility if we break below the low of day, which is basically the open at 289.64. So yeah, those are two entry points you can have for QQQ. I don't personally like trading QQQ though. I don't like how the options move compared to SPY and IWM. I like how those contracts move compared to yeah. I haven't looked at SPY. Yeah, I don't like trading SPY these days. A lot of chop, in my opinion. All right, let me go back to here. All right, guys, look, are you gonna be live trading on most weekdays? So there's gonna be me and one other person from my server who's going to be live trading. So I'm gonna try. I'm a college student, so eventually live trading from my end will end around like August. Because I need to get prepared for college and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna try to aim to at least have 2 live streams per week. I don't know how great these live streams are. Hopefully they're beneficial for you guys. Let me know if they are. But yeah, so I'll try to do it at least like 2 days at least minimum every week. It's hard to do it every day because I'm back at home and there's stuff to do. Like I have 2 dogs. One of them is a puppy kind of, well, not really. He's like 8 months old, so he's a decent sized dog. So he needs, he needs me to play with him so I could tire him out and he could be healthy. My other dog is 9 years old, so I need to make sure he's healthy as well, right? So he has a long life. So I need to take him on long walks. And then there's obviously spending time with my family. My grandmother came back from India, so I like to spend time with her. He's talking to her and stuff like that. So not all days can I sacrifice my time to do these live streams. So but I'll try to do my best. And then from now on, I'll do my best to record and then post on YouTube, even though they're going to be long, but some people wanted to look at it and I don't mind that. But hey, I mean, I'm getting more views on YouTube, right? So it works out for me. I mean, let's see, we're at 792 subscribers. That's nice. If you guys aren't subscribed, subscribe. It's called Pinnacle Traders. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, YouTube's gonna be another passive income stream for me. A lot of people ask me like, "Oh, you're so rich. Why do you have multiple passive income streams?" If you don't have multiple passive income streams, you're living wrong financially, right? So
You don't have to get a lot of.
always look to have multiple income streams. Never just limit yourself to one. I don't limit myself just to trading. So yeah. How's SPY looking currently to you? Basically same output, same basically same input I had for IWM and QQQ. It's hesitating right now. There's a huge chance it could break up to be bullish, right? But there's also a decent chance for it to break down and be bearish. It's just waiting. Right now, you just have to look to trade either sides. We already entered into puts for Bank of America IWM, as you can see right here for anyone who's joining. For Bank of America, we entered at 25. We already got filled for 29. I think the high Bank of America reach was 30 or 31. So these contracts reached around like 30% profit or something. Sorry. So yeah, Bank of America reached like 30% profit. IWM reached, I believe, 20% profit or something. But yeah, so whoever enter those trades, like, not to be rude, but there's no reason you guys should be red, right? As I said, it's always important to set your trims right after you enter. It's not financial advice, but that's what I do all the time. That's why I always get filled. Like I literally, like, you guys see my normal text alerts, right? My Discord alerts. I put out the trims that I put out, and I say I set these trims basically like this, right? And they usually always fill because I enter them at usually a good point. Sorry, my grandmother's talking to me. But yeah, yeah. What would your ideal entry into? I already entered the. Oh, Walmart. Sorry, I read that as IWM. So as I said, Walmart, we broke below. We had a double top on the 15-minute chart, and over the course of 2 days, and we broke below this support, which is nice. We're just having a little hesitation here, so I'd rather just wait a little bit for confirmation, bearish confirmation, right, for us to enter. But yeah. Yeah, college is annoying. I'm in the freaking medical field. Like, my parents are like, you should do medicine, and I see where they're coming from because it sets you financially, but like, I already make like more than a decent amount. I could probably retire right now and not have to like trade or work for the rest of my life. But like, so like, one of the most important things in life that you can have is knowledge. That's literally the only thing that's keeping me in college right now. So what do I think about scraping Nilo? Nilo, what the hell? Neo, um, pretty decent trade if you get below the low of this candle, 22.62. You could get, I would personally get puts, and yeah. Okay, so people are asking if I can send the alerts on Discord while I'm live streaming. I guess I'll try doing that. Just keep in mind that the alerts are going to be a little bit delayed. Might be. I'm not going to say it's huge chance they're going to be delayed, but yeah, I can't guarantee it to be at the same time because I'm also speaking on here and then typing it out. But yeah, I guess I'll look to do that. Where can I see how much you cut each time? I don't go into much details about my account size or how much I trim or how much I enter. But basically the rules that I follow by is the first trim, I usually get rid of 60% or more of my position according to the confidence I have in that trade. So because of that, I have already locked in profits for a decent size of my position. And even if the trade were to go to break even or a little bit red, I have the profits from the first trim to hold me at break even or at least in the green. So yeah. But I think we're gonna end the stream in like a few minutes or so. I'm getting pretty hungry. It's getting close to 11 o'clock.
Can I ask a quick question before you end the stream?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I was gonna say, you guys feel free to
Um,
ask any questions.
Now,
Or
I
so.
saw one of your entries in the Discord that I am in, but I didn't see Bank of America and I didn't see your other ones. Is it that, do you have a Discord that you post all of yours, or how does that work?
So, um, so the way this works is this is a live stream. So on the live stream, I just tend to just have the alerts on live stream and not relay the alerts to Discord, because as I was saying before, there's a possibility it could be delayed because I'm also speaking at the same time while talking to you guys and then typing out. So I might like mess up typing and then have to delete that and then send it out. But I guess since a few people are asking, I'll do my best to. I'll start alerting the trades on Discord as well. But it just like it's gonna be better if I have a live stream for you to be on it, because then you can hear me say and you could get a better price than versus seeing it on Discord, if you get what I'm saying. Because I'm good at multitasking, but then there's times I mess up as well. And then of course, because I mess up, I delete what I wrote and then retype it. So then it might make the alerts few seconds delayed. Versus if I didn't have a live stream, then it's much more easier for me to send out the alerts on Discord, because then I'm just thinking to myself, so I could just easily type out without error. But yeah, I'll start typing out the alerts on Discord. I do have a server, but I'm not going to go into that because I'm not going to promote it, as we are on a Zoom that's connected to multiple servers that you guys are from. So yeah, live streams are
Would,
great.
sorry, would IWM be a good trade over high right now?
So yeah, so actually I'm gonna exit out of my IWM contract right now, but let's see. So it just hit my stop loss. But yes, there is let's see. Yeah, there's a decent way you can go with this. The only concerning thing, the reason why I'm personally not entering is, one, we're heading into lunch, so this is where volume dies down. And yeah, you could see, unless we get like decent volume pushing it upwards, then yeah, that makes sense. But I'm personally not entering because I don't like the volume that we're gonna start getting in a few minutes here. So yeah, but yeah, break above high, that would be a good entry for calls if there's decent volume.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
If, of course, someone asked me to look at DVN. I'm gonna say this, I'm not into looking at low or medium cap stocks. I prefer just sticking to a set of stocks that are that have a lot of volume on it, because these low cap stocks or penny stocks, they have this is not a penny stock, but they have low volume on the option chain, and the volume and the movement on them are not that great. So yeah. But my personal outlook, I need to emphasize on that, on DVN is kind of bullish, right? You can see on the weekly chart, we have a pin bar forming right here. So there's a good chance that we could see bullish action. Of course, you always want to wait for confirmation. You could see that we gapped up here as well on the 4-hour chart. So that's good confirmation as well. Then we have this gap down that we need to fill right over here. But yeah, yeah, hopefully that answers your question for whoever asked that. But all right, I'm gonna be probably ending the live here. How many of you guys got into the IWM or the Bank of America puts? So this is why we wait for confirmation for Walmart. If we entered right over here, right, we could get caught in this trap. So yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you guys got into it. Hopefully you guys set your trims and got out at time. If you guys actually profited, it would be amazing if you could post in whatever profit channel you guys come from and then tag me. I'll put you guys in the silly little wall of rooks thing that I have over here. I just post people's testimonials. But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes. You could type out whatever questions you have. Meanwhile, I update my trading log for today. A few notes for the next live trading session we do. I will have this session recorded as I am today. I will also make sure I start alerting the things on Discord since if you're having bad connection. So I'll start doing that. Just keep in mind for those who are hearing this, there's a possibility, you know, the alert's going to be, it could be fine, right? I'm not saying it's going to be all delayed, but it could be a few seconds delayed. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, yeah, I guess that's all I need to say for the next live. But meanwhile, I'm typing this out. You guys can just type in whatever questions you have and I'll answer them if I can. Contract reached 154, but my last trim was at 149. Small trades today, but we made as much of the opportunity as we can. All right. Let's see, Bank of America, what thing triggered? Yeah, not surprised. So this is why we always set stop losses, right? And we always need to make sure we know where support and resistances are, so you can know if there's a potential, what's it called, reversal. Studying on the Wyckoff method you advised on a previous YouTube video, any great references? Unfortunately, the references I used were books, and that itself, they're not that helpful. I had to go to multiple sources to fully learn the Wyckoff method, and then I made my own strategy based off of the Wyckoff method. So yeah, how can I get this recording? I'll be posting on YouTube. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'll start publishing the alerts on Discord as usual. As I said, it's easier to just do it when I'm not live trading, right? Because then I'm not talking at the same time. But yeah. Right. If anybody has any questions, ask them now. If not, I'm gonna end the live stream here. I'll give you guys a minute. All right, it seems we have no questions. I'm gonna end the live stream here. Hope you guys have a good day. Make sure not to over trade. Just keep in mind we're heading into lunch hours soon, so keep in mind of the low volume. You don't want to get faked out or get stuck in a contract that doesn't move as much. But yeah, all right. Have a nice day, guys. See you.